Hi, in this video we're going to look at dividing by a fraction. Now, a really important rule here is to divide by a fraction, invert the fraction and multiply. So what is meant by inverting a fraction? Well, if we had a fraction 3/4, for example, what would happen is our numerator moves down to become the denominator, and the denominator moves up to become the numerator. So our fraction would in fact look like this. 4 is our numerator and 3 would become our denominator. And that is what is called inverting a fraction. Alright, well here's two other fractions. Give these a quick go, see if you can invert these fractions. It shouldn't be too difficult. Put the video on pause and come back when you're ready. So quite simply in 7/8 we have the 7 coming down to become the denominator and the 8 moving up to become the numerator. So we'd end up with 8/7. And similarly with 2/3, the 2 becomes down to become the denominator and the 3 moves up to become the numerator. So we'd actually have 3/2. Alrighty, so all three of those are in fact correct. Alright, so let's take that a little bit further, and our question is 4 divided by 2/3. Okay, so this is what we have to do. Firstly, we've got a whole number here, so we need to turn our whole number into a fraction. The divide needs to become a multiplication, and the 2/3 we need to invert. So lots happening, but let's do it. So 4 as a fraction becomes 4/1. The division sign becomes a multiplication. And the 2/3, when we invert it, becomes 3/2. And now we have a multiplication sum. So 4 multiplied by 3, that would give me 12. And 1 multiplied by 2 is going to give me 2. I now have an improper fraction because my numerator is larger than my denominator, and I'm going to simplify that by dividing by 2. So 12 divided by 2 is 6, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. I still have a bit of a problem because I've still got an improper fraction. How many times does 1 go into 6? Well, it goes in 6 times, so my answer in fact is going to be 6, and we get that right. Alright, one for you to practice. 7 divided by 3/5. Put the video on pause, give it a go, come back when you're ready. Alright, how did we get on? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is turn my 7 into a fraction, so it's going to be 7/1. My division becomes a multiplication, and my 3/5 I'm going to invert, and that's going to become 5/3. And now we have a simple multiplication of fractions. So 7 multiplied by 5, 7 5s are 35. 1 multiplied by 3 is 3. So now I have an improper fraction, and you can see my numerator is larger than my denominator. So I need to simplify this fraction. And to do that, I say how many times does 3 go into 35? Well, 3 goes into 35 11 times. And what is left over? We have 2, and my denominator is 3. So my answer in fact is 11 2/3, and that would be correct. Alright, so that's all there is to dividing by a fraction.